Day. This short video is for Stat 310, homework number 7, and talks a little bit about how to prepare the data for our analysis. Okay, let's go ahead and get started then. So what I would like you to do for homework number 7 is go find information about the relationship between the price of a home and its square foot. But we want to do that from two mid-sized cities across the United States. I don't really care what two cities you use. Here I'm going to use St. Paul as one of my cities. So down again, this follows homework 6, but underneath the pictures here is a place where I can download all of this information. So here is the information from the Redfin site here. It gives me, I think it maxes out at like 350 listings for a city. So let's go ahead and rename this the St. Paul data. And now what I want to do is go get data from a second city. So let's go back here and just pick a second city. So I will maybe use Nashville, Tennessee. And I will get their information. And we will open that. Okay, so here is the information again from Nashville, and then I also have the information here from St. Paul. So the first thing I want to do is put these two data sets onto the same sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my Nashville data and I will just add it to the end of the St. Paul data, so underneath all the St. Paul data. Now when I'm doing this, I do not want the header row in here. Okay, so I will just take the first row of data, go all the way down to the bottom here, which again will be, I think, 350 from Nashville. And these are mine from Nashville here. So I'm just going to copy that. And then I'll go to the bottom of my St. Paul data. And I will just paste that in, okay? So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the St. Paul data here. Give me a minute. And to paste, what I'm going to do is just put my cursor in the upper left-hand corner there. And then do a paste special here. And I just want the values. Okay, so maybe bring that down a little bit so you can see that. Paste special values. So what that does is takes the Nashville data, which is highlighted here, and just drops it directly below the St. Paul data. Now, a couple of things before I bring this data in and use it for my modeling. I only want single-family residences. And then the other thing is I'm actually getting a bunch of not necessarily just St. Paul, but here's West St. Paul or Maplewood. And then in Nashville, I get these other suburbs. Okay, so I just want two cities. Otherwise, we're going to end up with many more than just two lines in our analysis. So let's go back up to the top here, and I'm going to show you how to get just the two cities here and the single family homes. So I'm going to highlight all the data. Okay. And I am going to go under Data, Filter. And what that's going to do is put drop-down boxes on every single variable or column here. So I just want single-family residences, so I can just select only single-family residential here. And what is happening is if it's not a single-family residential, it actually just gets hidden from me. So row 5 here must not be single-family residential. So these all now are just single-family residential. Now the city, I only want two cities so I can get two lines. So from my city, I'm going to select just St. Paul. So let's go ahead and turn them all off. St. Paul and Nashville are the only two that I want to include here. So again, some of my rows are not visible right now, but all of these are just for St. Paul, or down below they're going to be for Nashville because I put Nashville underneath here. Maybe change the name here to St. Paul and Nashville. So this is the data that I actually want to bring in and use for my analysis. So I'm going to save this. Let's go ahead and save it onto your machine somewhere. And then I'm going to call this St. Paul and Nashville. And I'm going to leave it as a CSV file. Okay. So now I'm ready to bring this into the JMP package. I'll show you that last step here. Let me get jump open here and then we will do that. So now I'm just going to go file open. I'm going to go to my desktop where I had that file. I need all files and I just need to find my St. Paul Nashville CSV file. Say open here. And now I should have my data. Ah, what happened? It looks like I still have townhouses and condos in there. So lesson to be learned here. So let's go ahead and exit this. So what happens here is that the row 5 and 6, for example, okay, are not being shown, but they're actually still in the data. So I have to do one more step before I can successfully read this into JMP. And that one more step is to highlight the data that we have here. Now this is what the filters applied. So I only have the 2 cities, Nashville and St. Paul. I only have the single family residential. At this point, I want to highlight this data and paste it over into a new sheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy that. And then I'm going to paste this into a new sheet. And let me call this St. Paul, Nashville, updated or something. So now you can see that the row labels here are no longer blue. Okay, so this pasted this data over onto a new sheet without those additional rows. So row 5 and 6 now are not being included in this sheet. So let's go ahead and dump this other one and just use this. So I have to paste that into a new sheet. So now I again called that St. Paul, Nashville. Maybe I should call it updated just to be sure. So this is the updated one. Let's go ahead and close that and then open that into the JMP package now. Oops, sorry, file open. And I want to get the updated version. Now this should have only single family residential in it and only the 2 cities of St. Paul, and then down below would be the Nashville data. To fit my model, I simply say Analyze Fit Model. I'm going to be modeling price here. I'm going to be using square foot. And then city here is also going to be included. And then I want the interaction between city and square foot. Okay, so where is square foot again? There it is. And then the cross term. Say run. And then this is the output that you're going to be using for your homework assignment. Okay, I hope that helps you through the data preparation for homework number 7. Have a good day.